Well, looks like picks and bans are ready for game number 2, everyone. It's Rival versus Trifecta. Winner of this is going to be going to the grand finals.
It's going to be insane to see if Trifecta can bounce back, because we have never seen a North America versus North America grand finals at World Championship, because Season 1, it was Cog Prime versus Titan. Season 2, it was Enemy up against Epsilon. Season 3 was Energy against Obey. And then Season 4, United Rival.
I mean, what does this mean, though? What does North America versus North America mean to you, Anatoly?
I mean, it doesn't matter what it means to me. It matters to the crowd, right? Because they were cheering for a Splice, so you're going to hear this crowd just roar if that was the case.
I don't know. Like I'm saying, I think people kind of want it to be an NA versus EU game. There's a lot of Rival fans in this audience.
There are, but I think North America got them topped at the end of the day. As loud as the Rival fans could be, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of loud North American fans out there as well.
Well, we saw Trifecta lose a game in the start of yesterday, in day 1, so I definitely don't think that they're out. I don't think this is going to be similar to the game we saw earlier today, where once Dignitas started losing, there was no coming back.
I agree. I think that Sam needs to get off to a great start.
Yeah, I agree. They just need to keep their composure. I'm perfectly fine with them picking the exact same style. They just made a few little mistakes, like the Gold Fury they gave away, the way they pushed the tier 2 and mid. If they just fix those up in the next game, then they're going to be just as good as they were.
And that's the problem about facing European teams. You make a little mistake, they're going to capitalize off of it every time. Their late game seems to be just unfathomable.
Is there an issue with their awareness, though? Does Trifecta seem to not really be fully cognizant of what's going on around them? Because it seems like that's the reoccurring theme of them losing a Fire Giant, or not even realizing that the enemy team's doing a Fire Giant.
I think they just get too ahead of themselves at times. When they had the Fire Giant around that 21-minute mark and pushing that tier 2 tower, they thought that tower was free, they can find the kill into Deathwalker, but then they didn't respect the counter damage coming their way.
Yeah, a lot of it has to deal with the comp as well. It doesn't really play itself on the sieges. You can't just go in non-stop with your AoE damage and stuff. You really have to look for that first pick into the rest of the team fight, and they weren't able to get it, and that's why Deathwalker and Collis re-engaged and won that fight.
And there's good poke potential between that composition. They had an Ullr for the axe stuns from a distance. Zapman had the whoops to set up for the damage, but when you all in like that from Trifecta, then there is no more round 2 available.
Speaking of all in, going with a Fenrir pick, but we've seen him time and time again. The Erlang ban coming from Rival, I guess they didn't want that to be first picked from Trifecta.
It felt that way.
Yeah, Trifecta was the first pick this game, whereas Rival was first pick last game, so they didn't want to give up the Erlang.
Frang being picked here, and maybe we're going to see another Odin again, although Trifecta did lose that. Neil was doing a great job zoning as Odin.
It did, but I think the case is the Raijin. Trifecta, Raijin in the United set, it was 100% success for not only them, but Baskin on the United had a good game. So Rival doing the research, wanting to shut down Paul, it seems.
Like, we saw Wlfy play Raijin a few times, and I feel like he's a little preemptive with his ults.
He's a little loose, I would say.
There's just like the first 3 ults I think I saw in that game, he like maybe hit 1 or 2 of the waves.
So he was trying to like clear safely. He was trying to get his red buff safely as well. That one time Trifecta was invading. The one thing that I do have to worry about if I'm Rival fan for Wlfy is how far ahead sometimes his positioning is. That one time under that tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, he had to use his beats just to escape.
Yeah, he was playing a bit too much of Raijin frontline that game.
I'm going to have to get my
but Rival did a really good job at defending their red buffs, especially Wlfy being there on time, making sure that Trifecta didn't snowball off of their duo pressure.
So we got an Ullr and Serqet on Trifecta's team, and then Rival finishing out the first phase of picks with an Awilix. And obviously Fenrir's got to jump, Serqet's got to jump, Ullr's got to jump.
This is perfect counter pick. We saw it in the last set. Splice's Sino had a good performance. iceicebaby is known to play aggressive, and Awilix screams aggression.
It's a really good counter pick here, and Odin's still on the table as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Rival pick that up. Deathwalker loves playing it. It's good into Serqet with the shields, good into Fenrir. And of course they do have the jumps, but Awilix is going to be forcing those jumps a lot of the time.
I'm almost wondering if you would rather go for an RDO, for the crippling as well, trying to shut down any sort of escape from Fenrir or the Serqet.
She's actually banned. They banned away from Neil.
Oh, the very first one. Oops.
Yeah, you can't give Neil RDO. He's too good on it.
That's true.
Get being banned out on Trifecta's side. And one last ban before we get into the final picks phase here. Hawa not wanting to see that on the mid lane. Are they afraid? Why?
I think Paul sometimes plays Evo.
But are we not going to see Paul play Ullr here like we did in the last game, or is that now going to Zapman?
It depends. Normally, whenever Paul plays the Ullr, it means that Zap's playing Freya or Zap's playing the NeiruMah.
Yeah, and also there's just a flex. You know, Ullr can still go into ADC. Zapman still loves playing it, I'm pretty sure. And NeiruMah is still on the table, and that's something that we've seen Zapman play.
Well, would you want to see an Ullr in the mid, or would you want to see Ullr in dual lane? Just from what we can see right now.
I would rather see Ullr in the dual lane because the only time Zap's going to play the NeiruMah is when Scary D's playing in the Chang'e. They're going for more of this counter action style just to play for the late game.
It depends on the matchup as well. Like if Paul likes playing Ullr into Raijin, I'm not really sure about the matchup too much, but if he likes playing it in that situation, then definitely give it to him. But if Zapman likes playing Ullr into Freya as well, then you might as well switch it up. That's just the benefits of having a flex pick.
Tell me about the Sylvanus Freya duo lane that we might be seeing.
Hard to really contest or fight into. I think there's going to be a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, that is just too much wave clearance. They're going to one-shot the wave at the tower line.
Pretty much.
So then it's going to be Fenrir Ullr potentially in the duo lane that can potentially combat that with more early aggression?
Yes. Killing Sylvanus could be the goal for Trifecta into game 2.
It's basically kill pressure versus wave clear. Freya Sylvanus are definitely going to out-clear them, but the Ullr Fenrir have a lot of kill potential with the double stun.
Baron potentially coming out, being hovered over right now. Most likely going to be fit into that soul lane, and there's the NeiruMah you were talking about.
The problem with getting a NeiruMah for Zap here is that you're conceding lane pressure and you're not going to have any kills, and you might lose some purple buffs along the way.
It's also tough. You're going a Fenrir who obviously wants to fight early on, and NeiruMah's early on kill potential is not too great.
I mean, you do have a passive with the root, but you need to land 5 basic attacks at the end of the day. Maybe they're going to have the rotation early from NeiruMah, maybe go start soloing or something.
It's possible, and especially if they get a Fenrir early on rotation to mid camp so that they can get him out of the dual lane and let Zapman free farm on the NeiruMah, would be really good.
And Osiris. When was the last time we saw Osiris?
It's been a long time, Kelly, but if Deathwalker likes the early aggressive gods like Erlang Shen, expect some speed buff invades with this Osiris.
But look at these two comps here. Look at the aggression that Trifecta has, and they have no warriors, no tanks.
Yeah, it's tough, and Deathwalker seems to be playing these auto attack warriors again. He's rushing that Berserker shield. A lot of what he's able to do with it is he's able to walk towards the speed buff. Since he wants to TP back in anyway with his Berserker shield, he's just using his pots to his advantage.
And the thing is, the Sickle is such a short cooldown. It's like 5 seconds. You're going to apply a slow every time. And what Erlang Shen was able to do against Energy in that first set of the last set of the first day, I think Osiris can repeat that.
But maybe no Osiris now switching over to Nike, but not locked in yet. Alpha Jackal really taking his time here right now, making sure. I like that though. That shows that they still respect Trifecta. They know that Trifecta isn't going to get 3-0'd easily.
Nike is safer in terms of team fighting potential with that passive, trying to get more damage and speed for the rest of its teammates, but not the same kind of early pressure that an Osiris would provide.
Deathwalker has his last pick here, so he has so many options. They're just probably discussing whether they want somebody who's going to be really early on aggressive, or possibly just a team fighting god such as Nike, just what they really need. And depending on what they decide on, I guess we'll see what the last pick is.
Would you really want that early aggression though, going up against Trifecta with this comp and a Sun Wukong?
It's something that Deathwalker likes. He picks up the Soul Eater early in the game. He's trying to be a lane bully.
It's one of the best matchups into Baron as well. You're never going to get pulled by the vacuum that Baron has on his ultimate. And you just out-clear him so hard. You can walk towards back camps. You can look for proxies and stuff like that. It's just a perfect matchup.
So just looking at this, Trifecta trying to get this win here, trying to not be 3-0'd and sweeped. What are they going to have to do to win this game?
They're going to have to make sure that Zap makes it to the late game with this NeiruMah pick, because she's not doing much in the early game.
If Sam goes Blink on Serqet and looks for a lot of early plays, early ganks in duo especially, to help that NeiruMah out of the early game, then I think Trifecta can win this game.
Then what about Rival though? What should Rival do to keep in?
Just keep playing their own style. There's more pressure onto Trifecta after losing the last game. Rival's composition more safe and standard. Their team fighting presence with the Sylvanus should keep them all sustained.
Very similar team comps to last game. Rival definitely has a better 5v5, more AoE damage still, whereas Trifecta has a lot of pick potential and looking to all in one target.
And you got to be careful against this Awilix pick. You can't be too loose about engaging if you're the Fenrir, Ullr, or Serqet.
Well, it looks like we are ready to get into game number 2, everyone. Let's head on over to our casters.
Thank you so much, Analyst Desk. And yes, we're back for game 2, the lower bracket semi-final. That was sorry, lower half of the bracket, yeah, semi-final. I was like, hang on, there's no losers here this time round. But it's Rival versus Trifecta, 2 teams coming into this today where you're like at the start of the tournament and looking at their oppositions. You may have thought it wouldn't be this story, but here we are with Rival 1-0 ahead of Trifecta. And this is the time, Tom, where we start to see some of these compositions come out.
It's a long series. Best of fives, there's still plenty of time on the table. Trifecta right now, they're pulling out some of the stuff that they've done during the regular season. Zapman on the NeiruMah. Love how Anatoly put it. If Zap's not doing it late, he's not doing it at all. So that's kind of Trifecta's game plan. Give the early game to Sam, give the mid game to Paul, and then let Zapman just dunk fire shards. Across the way, Team Rival, a little bit more classic. First of all, shout outs to the Awilix play. Love to see my girl there. So we're going to see the early game from her and the late game from Vogue.
Gonna say, if your first three picks are gonna be Serqet, Ullr, and a Fenrir, I'm damn well sure I'd like to see an Awilix in the other team.
I said it before, man. When you're playing a lot of Odin and you're playing a lot of Fenrir, Awilix has to be somewhere in the conversation. She negates Odin completely. She can pull off a brutalize, not even just the jump. I'm glad to see Ice picking her up, taking a page out of Sino's book.
And some of the actual picks that you see from Rival here help the Awilix to get set up. Not by the traditional method of a straight knockup, but, well, Sylvanus has one of those. Same can be said for some Wukong's Samedi 2 transformations.
Going to be able to go Ox form, knock a couple of players up. Realistically, what I'm looking for Sun Wukong is to be front and center, deal some damage, as well as to provide some of the nonsense. That's why we see Team Rival solo laner Deathwalker go back to this Soul Eater build that he invented a little while ago. He's going to rush this item. He's going to pick it up later on as soon as he's able to finish it, which is a very quick back. And Sun Wukong's job is to just spam those abilities. And he's going to be able to do the damage as well as control the team fight.
Trifecta, though, they've got such a skirmish composition. Multiple characters be able to jump in and out of the fray, but not many of them are going to be able to frontline for long, and that's where I'm a little bit concerned here.
This is absolutely what we call a pick composition. Sam for Soccer is just going to look to jump on people. NeiruMah is going to look to isolate one and let Paul do the damage. Paul can do it by himself as well. And then if players do get away, Zapman makes it rain. Team Rival, on the other hand, much more team fight oriented. Deathwalker and Ice control the world, while Wlfy just bangs on the drums.
Now, Rival does have one weakness in this comp looking at it too, and that is tower push. With having a Freya in the dual lane and no physical hunter, it takes a long time for these towers and such to be taken down.
That's why Awilix is there. That ultimate.
But she's still melee. I'm just saying, like, getting in melee range is a bit more awkward on tower sieges and phoenix sieges.
But look at this ultimate out of iceicebaby. So it has the pull, obviously, but it gives an incredible amount of attack speed, an incredible amount of power as well. 70% and 60 respectively at level 20. That alone, if you're able to get up onto the tower, melee range is a caveat. It just melts.
It does, but it's still an awkward situation. That's what I'm kind of seeing. And the main thing is well, how far can Trifecta run and keep them guessing time and time again in these fights with Fenrir going in, Fenrir going out, Zap going in and up. You know, they're going to be looking to juke in and out as much as possible and rely on a bit of the sustain that's hidden away in some of these characters' kits.
One of the nice things about that Fenrir support is that he stays in the team fight. When you look at some of the other characters, Sylvanus, for example, all right, I healed, I got my root, I got my toll, and now I toss basic attacks for like 18 seconds. Fenrir, lower cooldowns and more effective basics.
Oh, Wlfy, a ton of damage there.
Oh.
Where's the respect from Rival? They just kind of watch them do it, but the turnaround is fair play. Sam for Soccer to the rescue now. Not only does Vote fall, but it looks like the tree may fall too.
There's the stun and Zapman! 2 kills for Trifecta.
Well then, well then, well then, the pick composition seems to be paying dividends already. That really was Freya and Sylvanus going, what are you gonna do? And Trifecta went, this.
Yep.
And just when you thought Rival went, okay, we're gonna fight them now and turn this around with the emblem, not to be the case whatsoever, because Sam for Soccer was there for the cleanup.
You and I on the horn together is kind of a nod to the old school players, and NeiruMah's existence is a nod to the old school players. NeiruMah has been around the competitive scene since day one, but he's had trouble really breaking into that pro level scene. He's had trouble kind of making his name and really putting a stamp on it. But those that know that this is what NeiruMah does. This is his style. This is what makes him successful. And Trifecta have leaned on that. They've got first blood from it, and they're going to get so much more.
Speaking of the first blood, let's take a little bit look back because we've got a bit of a lull in the action. Have that respawn first blood, and why not add second blood to that too? As this is Sam for Soccer rotating in the right time because, oh my goodness me, NeiruMah was about to fall any second then.
It's just great performance from Sam one more time. He's able to go ahead and identify that his team needs him on this left-hand side. The dual lane splits both of that. It's a wonderful outcome. Sam gets one, Zapman gets the other. It's kind of ideal.
I was going to say that's the dream situation, right? Like sometimes you'll see NeiruMah maybe get one of those, but instead, one for Sam. And talking about Sam, he's looking at Deathwalker. That ping was from Scary D to give vision, but at the same time, Awilix is in the area. Could be a bit of an awkward situation.
I wouldn't even mind if NeiruMah got one of those kills. Fenrir support's very similar to the Odin support that we saw last game. He's a character that provides control, but is also looking to provide help by lowering the kill threshold. If this is a foreign concept to you because it's an assassin, just think about Ares. Ares doesn't have traditional peel,
Sure.
but he makes it easier. But he still makes it easier to kill the enemy. That's all a support's trying to do. Some come with peel, some come with stuns, and others come with damage.
And with the first blood, you get a bonus 400 gold, and you can see Sam for Soccer already has 4 boots completed, slightly ahead of iceicebaby, and that mobility at this stage of the game is very important.
Something I do want to point out comes from last set. Sino bought speed boots every game. The ability to rotate around the map and be where you're supposed to be is very important. Sam for Soccer picking up the warrior top, he obviously isn't a problem, but one of the things that Sam's done very well has been where his team needs him to be. So I like the speed boots, but Sam's able to do this without the luxury of them.
NeiruMah's going to be a little bit careful here as he get banished away. No real panic from either. If he uses the Unchained there, you can see Callus go for the pull. But both Sam for Soccer and iceicebaby are on this side. Iceice is known about. There is a ward behind him. And Paul is actually slowly thinking about making this rotation too.
That's why Rival are going to back off. Rival didn't actually see Sammy there. They saw Paul make the half rotation. Once they saw Paul, Team Rival moonwalks back. They weren't really aware of Sam for Soccer, and so Trifecta need to really internalize that. They realized that nobody knew where Sam was, but Paul was the one that triggered Rival to retreat. They need to go into the jungle, drop the counter wards, and then let Sam gank one more time.
Stack of items online for Trifecta though. Zapman with the Book of Toth, which makes a lot of sense when you're playing a new war, to be honest. But not only that, Paul once again on the Transcendence in the mid lane. Paul though, gonna get taken on a ride by Callus. Ultimate was used, but Paul didn't panic for a beat. No beats used whatsoever, and a cheeky bit of poke, and that's about it.
Cool, calm, collected. Paul just able to internalize all the nonsense and then return back without using the relics. We talk a lot about relic usage and correct relic usage. Holding your beads, holding your relics, knowing when to not only use them, but when not to use them, also big.
Deathwalker might need a relic right about now, but that's on cooldown. Ox form is available as he looks to run away. Zapman got the ultimate off to try and help, but already Deathwalker is out and safe. Unfortunate situation as Vote then trying to return a bit of poke damage for Zap for the ultimate from across the map.
I don't know what tipped Trifecta off. They certainly knew that iceicebaby was there.
Ooh, drums of war used by Wlfy because NeiruMah got a little bit aggressive. Everybody playing a little bit scared so far.
That seemed a little bit fun.
Okay. He's on the desk.
Ultimate trade.
NeiruMah joke?
I said fun, not fine. I was just going to let you
Oh,
roll.
Deathwalker may have made a mistake by overextending a little bit here. I don't know why. So the extra tower shot. One more auto made it. Left-hand side, we're going to fight. NeiruMah got out of vote. Votes in this Gallican and Sam. Sam gets hit by the bubblegum. And iceicebaby gets the kill.
The pull! iceicebaby pulls Paul, but he gets punished for it. Paul and NeiruMah wind up taking the team fight. 2 kills for Trifecta. And they only suffer 1. It's Sammy.
But that's worth it. Sam for Soccer setting up that fight, and that worked out very well for them overall. Deathwalker did end up escaping on the right-hand side, but Trifecta getting another couple of kills in their coffers and more stacks as well.
iceicebaby right there is just, he's asking for help. His teammate gets isolated. I think it was Vote. One person was extremely low. And then iceicebaby gets the pull. It's exactly what he wants. But then Paul goes, okay, thank you for pulling me. Turns around and just steps on iceicebaby's dreams.
Speaking of Sam for Soccer for a second, involved in all 4 kills so far, but I do love the Ancile or Anchile, or whatever you want to call it. It's a made-up word anyway, don't question me about it.
It's Anchile.
I love the fact that he picked it up first, though, because he's against a Raijin and a Freya. You jump on either one of those, well, the other one might be trying to help out, and you're going to silence them, which reduces most of the mage's damage, unless you're going to beat.
You're going to stop Freya, but it's even more effective against the Raijin that you mentioned first. All of his abilities are channeled, right? He's got the bubble gun, which is a jump, but it's easy to stop in the beginning. Then, of course, you have the Raijin and the drums, the first ability, and the ability to stop that mid-channel, very strong.
I don't even think it's that too bad. I also like the fact that you can stop the Valkyrie's discretion. You can't necessarily get up into the ultimate at the timing that you'd like to, which is what Vote was looking for in that one. Vote, the only casualty so far to fall twice in this game. A lot of pressure towards that Freya, but he's gone for a bit more defense now as well. This is another one of the options Freya can go to.
Trifecta right now doing a good job of staying aggressive. That's what the composition needs. Even though Zapman has to play it a little bit passive, everybody else needs to be pure aggro. And so they try, but Team Rival successfully defend the red buff.
And this is where I'm kind of worried a little bit, because the gold lead's not got out of control. Sam going to go in, double kiss, ultimate 2. That ignores Callus's ultimate. Vote, you might as well just go back to base, my friend. No time for the ultimate to save you there. Dot damage still applies.
That's why Serqet's such a wonderful pick into the Freya. The ability to just control her, even when she's untargetable, super big. There's an argument to be made that Vote shouldn't have even ulted.
True, but at the same time, he's just not sure how much damage he took until he got into the air and went, oh no, it's too late. He knows himself, he'll try and get some damage off. I am noticing one thing about Trifecta though specifically. Whenever Sam goes off or Paul goes off, the other one tries to match them. It's like they're having an internal contest of, not like who's the better player, but like working together, like, yeah, I'll come in too now.
Trifecta working together for the gold, Fury. They'll pick it up nice and easy. Wlfy uses the ultimate, and Sam gets pulled in. Sam trades out for a gold. That's all good.
That's the danger of the Awilix. All the time, the gravity surge can be a problem. And the moment the Trifecta gets sleeping on how close the Awilix is to them, it can be punished a little bit. In the overall game, though, it's not really punishment. Unless the speed buff goes down, where Rival will actually be able to steal it away, and Deathwalker should be okay. He should be okay. He should be okay.
I don't know about that.
Told you, should be okay.
Watch. They're going to watch the option. Paul is going to watch the south side. Scaredy watches the right-hand side. There's the animals. They stop the animals. They're going to stop the life. One shot will do it. There's the jump, but it's missed. Brutalized with a follow-up. There's the Ragnarok. And there's a dead Deathwalker. Paul, 2 kills, no deaths, and an assist.
He should be okay. 6-2 then is Trifecta at this moment in time. Gold Fury is down. Pyromancer has spawned at the 10-minute mark as we approach 12. So now you're going to keep an eye on the other side of the map too. Rival found some success there.
Love it.
Talking about success, NeiruMah keeping the pressure on Wlfy.
Exactly, just trying to test Wlfy. Wlfy does the correct thing and does not use the beads. NeiruMah just trying to make sure he can stay aggressive, stay in there. Actually picks up the red buff for his troubles.
This is really an old school sort of a Serqet build coming out here, because most of the time we start to see a bit more damage out of Serqet's, but she's got true damage as part of the kit with that ultimate. So just go with a natural scale and the ability, and if that's going to do all that, but iceicebaby going in, Zapman's in trouble, knocked up in the air, the burst damage from Vote is there, and that will get the kill. Callus ends up getting it as NeiruMah now on the run from 3 targets.
Yeah, it was a big play by Team Rival, just surrounding.
Where's Sam?
Oh, he's right here, but they're not going to chase. Rival's totally fine. Fantastic job by that. 3 players surrounding the 2, and it's all about the burst damage. They take care of Zapman before he can execute his combo. NeiruMah's big problem is the fact that she needs to send 2 abilities, the minions and the shining metal. Without both of those, she can't really do it. So you have a little bit of time to really punish her before she blows up your whole team. And if you're able to kill her, well, that's your window.
Remember, no beads for SmiteVOD as now he's under pressure. Ults in place as Paul supports. Ice trying to juke out with Suku, but the damage from Paul is just too much. The combination of Paul and SmiteVOD win a 2v2 again, but the engagement's not over just yet. Callus and Wlfy, they were looking for a pick, and they might just get picked themselves.
Paul finds the long-range stun. Here comes NeiruMah looking for up close and personal. The Wlfy ultimate's chased out, and that's exactly what Trifecta's going to take and run with. DW on the south side, trying to make an exit on the left-hand side. Paul follows up, finds the axe in transit. Now Deathwalker forced into the ultimate, has 2 options, north or left.
More than anything, he made this rotation to try and make sure nobody was in trouble, and he might actually get himself a kill. Jingle bang! Deathwalker solos that man against 3 targets. Maybe he falls down in trade, though. I'm not sure if it's worth it, because he lost a lot of farm on the right-hand side.
Exactly. Zapman is a character that wants to get us to the late game. Totally painted that for us on the desk. 1 or 2 deaths, not that big of a deal. Trade out for Deathwalker, who has a level lead on Scary D. It's absolutely something that I'm going to take.
And honestly, he has already got the lead in the lane. He was 2 levels up, now only 1. But making these rotations is making sure that Trifecta can't keep the pressure onto Vote, who's currently died 3 times so far.
That Freya pick. Scary D.
Suku was you, Suku was you, Suku was gone. Paul gets another kill for himself, set up by Scary D. That timing of the leap into the ultimate was well done from Scary.
Exactly. Scary just saw you got no buttons to push, homie. You're coming along. And drops the ultimate, drops the target.
And now Trifecta looking to get the Pyromancer. This will give him a bit more gold in the coffers if they do. Nothing too much to shout home about, but it does give him a bit more mobility from base, which we don't talk about often, but now and again it can come in handy.
Exactly. It's very rare as the application of the Swift Wing buff, if you'll call it, with like, if you will, effective. But right now, I think it's actually a point where you want to be able to use it.
Vote in trouble, has to beads away. No beads used by Zap. NeiruMah on the rotation too.
Oh, bad
Keep an
fight.
eye on Callus as Zap is trying to keep him busy, but Vote baited it well. Aegis used by Zapman. Last shot, he's still alive, but Vote still gets the kill. And now Callus and Wlfy are here. But Sam for Soccer's beating up Wlfy.
Meanwhile, you've got Paul in the wings as well. Sam for Soccer surrounded by 3. NeiruMah shows up looking for the ultimate. Wlfy very low, picks up a different target. Wlfy, bubble comes up to the top. Now 2 players here. It's all team rival. 3 players coalesce on top of 1. Sam for Soccer trying to run.
But where's Deathwalker, boys? Hi, the monkey has arrived, and now the gravity surge picks up Zap for Soccer. Paul on the
They're
run.
gonna chase.
Deathwalker will just keep going.
They're gonna chase Paul onto the tower, Paul onto the ground. iceicebaby melts them down. Team rival take control of the game.
Gold Fury is up right now. Rival could look towards that tier 1, not really available as it stands. The gold situation is even here. So what can Rival get off the back of those kills to keep this momentum going?
Gold Fury, that's exactly what they're looking for. Scary D is gonna be local. Deathwalker should zone him, and this should be an easy textbook Gold Fury for Team Rival, paid in full by the team fight they just successfully encountered.
Taking a bit of time though, because as we said, objective secure is not the greatest thing. Wlfy was looking a bit of pressure on the mid lane. But what a crazy fight that was. It starts off with Zap versus Vote, turns into a 5-4 because Scary D didn't manage to get the rotation going at all. Notice that tier 1 tower is still alive on Rival's side of the map.
You watched the tape back, I said it was a bad fight from the get-go. You saw everybody coming in the wings, and Trifecta just weren't as healthy as Team Rival was. Deathwalker had the ultra flank coming all the way underneath the tier 1 tower, and he knew that Trifecta was inevitably going to seek refuge underneath that structure. So he takes himself out of the team fight, wraps all the way around, and then finds himself underneath. Paul and the homies stop there and they go, we're good. JK, Deathwalker comes through, bludgeons, and gets the kill.
Really good adjustment from Trifecta, realizing that against this Awilix is going to keep causing them a lot of problems. Magi's cloaks are being bought early on in this game. 1 for the Serqet, 1 for the Fenrir support. It's going to be needed because they require these leaps to actually get involved in the fight.
Deathwalker again finds himself miles in enemy territory.
He likes being there. I think he really is some Wukong, right? That's his job.
That's why he bought Oni Hunter's Garb, 3rd item. That's why he bought Soul Eater, 1st item. His job is to be in the middle. Scary D, Baron Samedi, he might be life of the party, but Deathwalker is charging him and looking to take that title away.
That wasn't really looking there for a second, but Vote was just clearing out wards, gave away the situation though. Left-hand side, Trifecta now know there's a sentry down for Rival, and they've got to be careful about taking these rotations through there or trying to place wards without de-warding that area.
Vision's going to be very important as we kind of get to this late game because, as we said, Trifecta, they've got this pick comp set from the get-go. And Team Rival, more of a team fight-oriented strategy, but at the same time, if you run up to iceicebaby in the wrong spot, he's going to be able to isolate you and just take you out.
I'm talking about picks, they need to pick iceicebaby. That's the target they need to get after.
Really?
Not an easy target, but they have to get that down.
I'd argue it's Vote. I want to jump on the Freya.
He's got 2 kills so far, but they've been jumping on him all the time. And in doing so, they're letting iceicebaby turn around and punish them back.
It's absolutely true. It's a number of options, I think. I think Vote and Ice Ice are definitely the 2 that you want to look for. Wlfy has too many buttons to press to get out of jail. He's got the beads, he's got the Aegis, obviously, but he's got the leap, and he's got, of course, the drums of war. He can just turn them on, make himself CC immune, taunt, fear. There's a lot of different options for Wlfy to get out of jail. Deathwalker, he's not going to be an option because he's going to be in your jungle like this, but he also has way too many options. Vote and Ice absolutely have to be the targets.
And Deathwalker's always going to be careful about how far forward he goes, because eventually there'll be a point in time where the full 5-man team of Trifecta will kill him before he can get his ultimate off and get back to the safety of that cloud. For now, though, it's perfectly fine.
Deathwalker, again, finds himself surrounded by Trifecta jerseys, and the rest of Team Rival start Fire Giant. But at this point, you got to ask yourself, Deathwalker, why are you here? Don't chase him. Look for the objective.
No, they should, because NeiruMah's making sure they're not doing Fire Giant. He's got no ultimate now. He's got no life now. Meanwhile, though, NeiruMah may be in a lot of trouble. He's going to end up going down, but they did use a couple of ultimates there in trade. 1-for-1 solo for support. I'm okay if I'm Trifecta.
That's the big deal, is that Ice and Wlfy have 2 team fight changing ultimates, and both of them are down for the count. Trifecta should be aggressive. Sam doesn't have his ultimate, but Scary D does, and that's a big deal. If Team Rival get baited into one of these corridors, one of these hallways, Scary D turns on the coffin and everybody dies.
However, Callus and Vote still have their ultimates available. Doing the Pyromancer won't draw in Trifecta, though. Tier 1 tower also falls on the left-hand side as this was going on, just to the minions, so Trifecta get a bit of gold, and so does the Pyromancer for Rival.
Almost there for Zapman. Still, there's NeiruMah in the carry position. Man, it is as late game can be. Not really my favorite pick, but Trifecta has made it very effective.
Now, one thing about having a pick composition of sorts with having a NeiruMah is the fog that you can see on the map. It hides people inside it. It's had a couple of buffs through the year too, so that invisibility actually starts earlier. It used to take a little bit of time hanging around in there. And the fact he's farming free damage all day, you know, is another factor.
I'll challenge that. It's not exactly farming free damage. Right there, y'all remember rituals? Does anybody miss rituals? Before you answer, the ultimate gives him the revealing ritual, essentially.
Not one person said yes then, by the way. Nobody who spoke about rituals.
Nobody did. I think Tolly said yes.
Go on.
But the NeiruMah providing the map-wide vision. And nobody knows where you are. Pops the ultimate. There you can see Team Rival. All right, they're not at the Fire Giant. We can continue to push up the waves and find ourselves a little bit more safe.
Well, right at this moment in time, Rival are back at the Fire Giant. And left-hand side, Zap pushed out a little bit on that side. Right-hand side pushed up by Rival. Rival really like to dance around the Fire Giant. We talked about Rival and their way of playing objectives time and time again.
Well, Rival really like to do that because Rival really like to team fight.
They got Paul, they got the beads. In comes Callus too to make sure Zapman can't get involved. Paul is surrounded, Paul is dead. All investment onto the mid lane. Ooh, NeiruMah trying to make something happen with the Ragnarok. Can't find a target. Meanwhile, Sylvanus gets a big old bleed. The poison spreads.
Wlfy goes down. Here comes the Scary D. Wlfy is in trouble as NeiruMah has half HP. Jump away because he's safe from iceicebaby. 2-for-1. Team Rival still pushing.
Scary D's still in a lot of trouble, left alone. Needs some support from Zapman, gets it. Clay minions do a little bit of damage, but not enough whatsoever. Rival take 3 kills for 1, and that was Paul just being in mid lane alone, and Rival saw a window and took it.
We've been talking all nice about Paul. That one not gonna wind up on his highlight reel. Out of position.
I don't think he was out of position, really.
You can't be there by yourself.
I mean, he had his beads up. His beads bought some time, but nobody else was able to help. Now, though, the Fire Giant under threat by Rival. Ultimate out from Zapman as NeiruMah leading the charge.
Do it. NeiruMah's showing up. 25% of the objective. NeiruMah's presence. Rival doesn't want to give it up just yet. Here comes help from Zapman on the left-hand side, and Oxman's going to chase him out. Fire Giant has been leashed. Trifecta did what they came here to do.
Zap's got no relics and has to run. Jingle Bang off the mark, but Paul is on the way back. As is Sylvanus. In the go. Sylvanus looking for the kill on iceicebaby and finds it. The crowd pops because Trifecta are here to play. Rival hung around looking for kills, and now they're being punished.
Trifecta, the tag team champions, coming through and letting the rest of the carries funnel on in. Aegis is used by Paul, and Deathwalker puts down 1. Vote gets Paul, and here comes Wlfy.
I don't think the crowd helped there because that boost of energy from the crowd actually made Trifecta go a little bit too deep. Paul and NeiruMah end up falling down, and Rival actually, luckily enough, will just turn tail as well. What a crazy few minutes.
If you're a Trifecta fan, that is as close to a win as you're going to get there.
Why?
NeiruMah and Zapman's job there, Trifecta gets stomped. They lost a team fight. And Trifecta's duo lanes show up. Neil goes, all right, if they get Fire Giant, this is really rough because they're going to clear out our towers. So Neil throws himself to the wind looking to stop. And it's not enough. Team Rival are still on the objective. Zapman sneaks in, and everybody wants to kill the easy-to-kill mage. So they follow Zap into the clutches of Sam for Soccer. Now, that could have gone a lot better for Trifecta, but the goal was to stop the Fire Giant.
At the end of the day, though, the Fire Giant is taking a lot longer than you would expect. Because we mentioned tower sieges, it actually means for objectives too. Freya's not really got the same burst to bring down a Fire Giant the way, you know, any other hunter would. Even Paul on the Ullr would have a better time whacking away at the Fire Giant to bring it down quick. Rival need more time to bring it down, and that time is what Trifecta needed to try and defend, and they're gonna have to do it again.
Zapman uses the ultimate. Half for vision, half for the damage. Sam for Soccer's local, and that's all it takes.
But
Team
that keeps
Rival can't
happening.
commit.
That keeps happening. Rival end up getting the ultimate out of Zapman because they're not sure where they are on the map. And immediately Rival go, okay, reset, heal up, use the wisps from Callus to heal everybody back to full, and maybe look at it one more time. Neil forced to use his Magi's Cloak there as the Banish from Vote connects.
I don't mind Zapman's ultimate being on cooldown. I think it's one of those ultimates that...
I do, but he's got no relics up.
That's an issue. I will agree with that one. 22 seconds on the beads, 40 plus on the Aegis. Team Rival have control of the area. Pyromancer could go down here. Trifecta shouldn't take the bait.
No, I don't think they really should. NeiruMah can maybe look for going in, but it's not even worthwhile at this moment in time. Let it have it. Keep the pit for now. Sam for Soccer on the left-hand side, but Rival starting to barrel round towards the blue buff area. Plenty of wards for both teams here, so lots of vision. Scary Neil and Zap all on a ward right now that's out of vision of those 2 sentries they've got down.
NeiruMah now, placing vision. Put a ward down. No, just trying to look around, see where people are at. Team Rival going to full retreat.
And the reason because of this is ward's situation. No one has a ward in their inventory at all at the moment. There's no chalice of the oracles for either side either, just to get any sort of vision down. But with that, it just basically means the ward you have on the map at the moment, well, Trifecta's got one at the Fire Giant to keep a little bit of vision, and Rival have it all the way around. Both teams realize the pressure has been released, and in having that, it means that Trifecta can go a little bit sneaky on the left-hand side.
Gold Fury being attacked by the team in trouble. 4,000 deficit for Trifecta, cut down to about a 2,000 deficit. That goes from a slight lead from Team Rival to basically a tie game. 2,200, 2,300, I'm not that offended by that lead. That's when you spread it out among 5 players, just not enough to really make an impact in these team fights. Trifecta now, as they fight into the Fire Giant, should feel a lot more confident after that gold.
Yeah, Trifecta a little bit behind in some positions though. Paul with a bit more of an expensive build here. Went for Bloodforge as well as Transcendence, so that's why he's only on his 5th item completed. Eventually he'll get to that 6th, but that gold is still important to him as well as the Zapman's new war, which needs to make an impact as the game goes on. Rival, meanwhile, almost all at 6 items, barring some blessings.
Still, Trifecta having a strong showing here in game number 2. Team Rival able to take care of the first one in the best of 5 series. As I said, game number 1 sets the tone of the series. Game number 2 is a much different story. Trifecta need to win this.
Wlfy just jumped on Scary D. Hello, what's going on? Drums are out too. Scary's in trouble. Pulled all the way back in. Has to ultimate, get some protections. Still though on the might fight. Sam for Soccer came in, and Sam for Soccer did so much work there. He gets the Ullr off into iceicebaby too. NeiruMah ends up bringing Vote back to the fight, but Vote's fine for now. NeiruMah, different story.
Deathwalker does a great job of controlling mid laner Paul. iceicebaby hanging on by a thread, and Sam for Soccer can't get behind. DW now dealing with the jungler.
Oh, Sam, he's in a lot of trouble. And the blink from Callus is good. Zap can only hold up the tier 2 tower, 2 for 1. Solo and jungle for the mid lane of Wlfy, who, to be fair, that was a Zapman play.
That was just pure aggression. Scary D gets jumped on, and he was able to churn things around. Zapman with a big boy stun.
He still could be die here, but luckily NeiruMah's back to defend too. Getting the beads out of Zapman, good enough for Rival as now they fall back towards the Fire Giant area.
Fire Giant could be the target for the European squad. Wlfy's down, but he'll be up in time to get the buff. might not be here to help the fight.
It's going to take a while, this, though. As you can see, it takes a long time for them to bring this down. iceicebaby needs to be working on it, too, with that physical, but he's also trying to get involved in the front line.
Paul, again, being dealt with by Deathwalker.
Great beats from Paul. He read it like a book, and now NeiruMah on the back of the fight is causing problems for Vote. Still tanking it up, his rival, and the damage from that is going to cause problems. Vote gets pulled in by Scary D, and Zapman Shining Metal will pick up the kill. Callus can fall next and will do before the ultimate even connects.
2 players down for Team Rival, and Trifecta have turned this team fight around. NeiruMah gives himself up to take care of the duo lane from Rival. Scary D still willing to push up. Zapman and Paul are going to look for the objective here.
Watch how fast this goes down, especially for Nuwa and an Ullr. There's a big difference in burst damage. Zap gonna ult early on just for vision and see where everybody is.
Meanwhile, Soccer's going to show up here. The zone from Scary D. 40% of the objective so far. Wlfy is local, as are other members from Team Rival. Now down to 10%. Paul's still tanking. Over the top comes iceicebaby. Rival snatches it away! Trifecta can't hang on!
I think that was iceicebaby over the wall, but the fight after the fact is all Trifecta. iceicebaby's looking to clean up and won't find it. Deicide for Trifecta. They lose the Fire Giants, but now they've got a bit of a window for some towers.
Even better than what they wanted. They showed up, they asked for the Fire Giant, and they got gifted a team fight. When I look for that, when I look for those calls, I want to see one player go in. Instead, Team Rival turned themselves into a smoothie and Trifecta take control of the game.
Now what happened that the Jingle Bang came out from Deathwalker, but he was actually just giving vision the entire time to iceicebaby, who was right behind the corner. I'm pretty sure it was Ice over the wall, hitting the ability just to put the damage through, which works out well.
Mid lane's going to be the focus for Trifecta. Scary D's going to go ahead right away. All of a sudden, over the back line, Vote's in trouble. Soccer looking for that guy. Collins, 10 points. Paul puts it in.
And now the tier 2 tower falls straight after, but what can Trifecta do next? For a second, I thought they might march on, but it's not going to be the case. We can take a look back at our Fire Giant again to work out exactly what went down.
Trifecta's going to look for the retreat, so INAP will bring us the replay. iceicebaby over the wall. What do they call it? Not the Jingle Bang. It's going to be the help from Deathwalker on the other side.
It definitely was iceicebaby, though, that really helped him out there to pick up the kill. It looked close, but the Moonlight Charge, obviously, I don't remember every ability name. All I need to know is it knocks up. Talking about knock-ups, there's a flip coming out from iceicebaby as NeiruMah now on the run. He's going to be careful as the gravity surge, I think, was used by iceicebaby. He was trying to pick up NeiruMah, but just not in time. Deathwalker, though, has caught up to Scary D, and Scary D could be in a bit of trouble.
The mage is going to be fine for now, and the left side target is the Gold Fury. 31 minutes in, 32, check that, 19 to 18. We're basically tied up in kills, and the gold reads similar. 78 to 76. Trifecta in the latter portion of this game.
Wow, they're winning.
Look at this graph.
I know.
Look at this graph. I mean, what a game.
Well, it is a semi-final. There's only 3 teams left right now. As early on today, Splice managed to pick up the victory over Dignitas. Whether it's a shock or not to you guys at home, it was a big surprise to see it happen 3-0, and now we're in the second half of the bracket. There's only 3 teams remaining in the tournament, and one of them's gonna be a new world champion. Doesn't matter who, guaranteed new.
It's one of the beautiful things that we've gotten a chance to see over the course of the weekend. If you're just tuning into day number 2, all of the contenders that have previously won the SmiteVOD Championship got booted.
Hang on, if Zapman ends up getting to the finals and winning worlds, right, what happens to the meme?
Well, I mean, did you see what Coach Hathi tweeted?
What?
He said NA ranked will be miserable because that man's just going to mouth off to everybody as a world champion.
That's quite possible.
I think that's the most accurate thing I've seen all weekend.
Here, though, Trifecta's starting to group up on the left-hand side. Bit of an opportunity here, positional-wise. Keep an eye on Sam for Soccer on that Serqet. He's the furthest towards the middle lane, and Wlfy's going to be careful about overextending. But the tier 2 tower is under threat, and new Wild's play minions really do help out for providing bodies to help them in the situation and bringing it down.
Nice and easy there for Trifecta. Again, just looking for the individual small choices. This is how Rival took game number 1, bit by bit by bit by bit. I mean, this team doesn't even have the Fire Giant. Remember, Rival took it away from them, and they're just looking for each tower, each individual opportunity. Because of that, Trifecta now 5K in the lead.
Rival don't seem stressed again, though. They look really calm at the time being. Like, I don't think they're out of this game whatsoever. They've had a few mishaps against this comp. Trifecta, though, I love the itemization, which is allowing them to compete with a comp that's in, out, shake it all about, and then make sure you live at the end of the day.
Sam for Soccer just traded an item for Deathbringer. Oh, I love that.
Bit of crit.
A lot of crit. Deathbringer and the Malice together. Sam for Soccer is adjusting the strategy. The team is now looking to just delete players. If Sam jumps on Wlfy, Wlfy dies. Because that's what's been happening. We've seen players make it to the back line, but then there's a fight and Wlfy escapes or this player Sam's gonna jump on someone, they're gonna get crit, and they're going to be in the fountain looking at a 50-second respawn time.
One of the reasons we never saw crit for a while, though, was because of the amount of thorns that were in the game. But at this stage of the game, you can look for that hyper build where you can technically two-shot someone. Jump on the back, slap them in the face, and the crit will come through, and that's jobs are good. And Malice, too, whenever you get a crit, that means that Malice is going to provide extra damage for your next abilities. And you know what, Serqet? Not going to complain about that one.
Not at all. Not at all. Team Rival now, looking for the Fire Giant one more time. Trifecta here, ready to dance. NeiruMah leading the charge. Kalis leading his respective team. Scary D playing a little bit behind. Paul's got to watch his positioning, though. If he steps up too far, he could be in trouble.
He's still got his beads and his Aegis up, though, as does the rest of Trifecta, so all relics available for this engagement. Everyone pretty much full build at this point in time. It becomes a battle of wits more than anything else. Trifecta looking for a single pick that blows the team fight open, whereas Rival would love a clump situation.
I love the vision coming out from both of these teams. Did you notice the double wards? It's so if you try to strip the vision, it's going to take that much longer.
And stripping the vision means that you're going to sit there for such a while that you can get caught out of position.
6 basics.
By the collapse that comes through. Scary D slips in there for a second. Magi's Cloak still intact. Talking about those Magi's Cloak, there is now, I believe, 4 of them on the side of Trifecta, if I'm reading that right. 3. My mistake.
Trifecta now have wrestled control of the FG pit. Team Rival trying to walk in.
Here we go.
Kalis is going to blink in. There's Scary D on the front line and NeiruMah all the way on the back.
Meanwhile, Kalis in a bit of trouble now. The ultimate coming out from Zapman caused a lot of drama. Deathwalker, though, is dealing with both Paul and Zapman. As Scary D picks up the tree. Scary D, though, now too far forward, and he'll fall down to iceicebaby.
Kalis is dead. Paul half alive. Zapman half alive. No ultimates for anybody. On the side of Trifecta, Team Rival certainly very healthy.
No, but I love what they're doing now. Rival is sick of trying to do a fire giant because they've not got the damage to do it. They don't have a hunter, so you know what? Ignore that. Let's go get the towers now. Their tanks in the front line are dead. They've only got damage dealers left. If you want to fight us at a tower line, sure, we can take that fight. No problem. Tier 2 on the right-hand side falls. Tier 2 on the left-hand side falls to minions, too, at the exact same time.
Fire Giant one more time could be the focus for Team Rival.
Oh, don't back. Oh, Sam. I thought for a second he was going to back him like, no, don't do that. I've seen that too many times this week already. In the end, Rival will fall back themselves, however, after the Pyromancer, and the respawns now coming through from Trifecta.
A full reset. And everything looks clear in this game. 20-20 is the kill count, 37 in. Team Rival, again, wrestling back control of the game. I've said both teams have controlled this game a number of times because both teams have controlled this game a number of times. What we're looking at now is Rival just kind of battling it back, taking it from Trifecta and saying, we are going to will ourselves to a game 2. For Trifecta, they need to stop getting caught out. I love how they're splitting their tanks. NeiruMah goes to the back and Scary D looks to suction in the front line. But Team Rival seem to have figured that out and are able to fight a little bit better into what they were losing to 10 minutes ago.
Here we go again then. Fire Giant underway. Rival the ones with the focus on it. Deathwalker on zone duty slows down Scary D. Gets the Magi's Cloak off Sam for Soccer. Fire Giant actually goes down the way of Rival, but Rival are now in a bit of a situation. Or is it Trifecta? I'm not so sure. Zapman gets Kalis. Sam trying to get away again as quick as he can, but Deathwalker's just too healthy. As Vote now manages to get the Freya swinging.
Sam for Soccer just gets caught up and controlled. Team Rival take the Fire Giant and they take the death of Sam for Soccer with them. Kalis is down, but Team Rival don't seem to care. Scary D down to half HP. Rival seeping into the mid lane. Vote gets stunned, but everybody else pushing forward. Scream for Ice Ice.
And under the tower goes Paul. The Aegis keeps him alive for now, but Deathwalker might not be done. iceicebaby with a blink picks up the kill, and now the tier 2, or at least the Phoenix on the left-hand side, is gonna fall soon.
It's all about the left side Phoenix for sure. Trifecta can't defend it. And look at NeiruMah, he's tanky, but he's just one dog. Zapman is not tanky. And he'll be the dog of this team fight. 24 for Team Rival.
And now NeiruMah forced back under pressure as the Phoenix does fall on the left-hand side. Middle one isn't exposed just yet to the tier 2, but they're gonna march on to the throne room once again. This time Trifecta put up a hell of a fight in game 2, but Rival came through exactly when it was needed. 2-0 to Europe, and A on the back foot in this other half of the bracket.
Rival have cast many checks off of the back of their adaptation game. The ability of this European team to identify what the opponent brings and then fix their own problems to usurp that lead is exactly what Alpha Jackal has been able to do with this squad and why they've been so successful over the years. Trifecta found a way to beat Team Rival up until about 29 minutes. Rival wrote it down, they figured it out, and they beat them out here in the last team fights. That's the one that matters.
But it's not over just yet. It's not over just yet. They're still in the tournament. They have time to take the energy from the crowd. That's what they need. They need the crowd energy, the fans at home too, because now they've got to win 3 in a row. And in these times, we've seen it many times before, Tom, every game, one at a time. Take one at a time.
Not every team can do the 3-game run back. Trifecta is absolutely a team that can. You need the intangibles, the X factor, all of the energy, that stuff that Sam and Paul have brought the regular season, the placement round. It's now time for them to step up and do it here in finals.
Is the dream about to end though? Is that, I mean, at the end of the day, story tales are made and lost, but is this really gonna happen?
Y'all know me, I call it as I see it. Any other team here, except for Dignitas, I would say it's over. Trifecta, they absolutely can bring it home.
Let's find out the story continues on the desk, though, has to break down game 2 as we look forward to game 3.
Thank you so much, Hindu Man. And it seems like FDOT's still confident that Trifecta could potentially have this, but after that win right there, it looked like it was an even game. And like FDOT was saying, until the 20-minute mark, it was Trifecta's game, but Rival was always just patient and calm.
They were. iceicebaby on the Ullr doing a fantastic job countering that Fire Giant steal towards the late game. The mechanics needs to be solid, not just at the rank level, not just at the basic online SPL level, but here at the biggest stage. And both Zapman and Paul getting knocked up by Fire Giant, questionable.
Yeah, it was a big deal. They both were knocked up, and Deathwalker went for the steal, barely didn't get it, and then Ice over the wall got it with the Moonlight charge. So that was a pretty big deal. It ended up going in Trifecta's favor for the fight. However, it would have been much better if they had a Fire Giant. They could have sieged a lot easier.
But what should they have done then? Because that could have been their advantage, right? Even though they didn't get the Fire Giant, what should they have done differently to get a bigger lead?
I think that they kind of neglected the anti-healing. It was Sanford Soccer picking up the Brawler Speed Stick around the 22-minute mark. He does have Last Breath for the anti-healing, but no one else picked anything up. There was no Cursed Ankh, so there are a lot of sustain coming through from Callus on the Sylvanus.
And even on Deathwalker, he went the Soul Eater Glad Shield build, which makes you pretty squishy if you have some anti-heal. It's obviously no sustain coming through there. So I think they need to focus on the anti-heal as well in that game, but they got what they wanted. They got the dual lane gank, they got their new wall ahead, and they were invading every red buff, but you really have to give props to Rival. They're so good at defending from behind.
And something that the casters were saying is that Rival was really good at just taking 1 kill, and then maybe 2 kills here, and then backing off a little bit. They never were too aggressive, and we saw even in game 1, where they had 2 Phoenixes down, they still were like, no, not yet.
Patience is a virtue, and when you have Wlfy playing the Raijin, you have a lot of a safety net in terms of playing defense, the distance also that iceicebaby was able to cover with his ultimates, the slow-mo here. Look, Paul and Zap getting knocked up cannot happen.
No, they're the main secure there. And they just did a really good job at defending the Revo, especially Ice making those rotations, because their dual lane did get behind the Sylvanus and the Freya. But we also talked about how the 5v5 was definitely in Rival's favor. They just have a better overall team fighting draft, especially with the Wukong and the Sylvanus knockups to supplement the Awilix.
There's just no front line from Trifecta whatsoever. You got Baron over there for Scary D. Zapman's playing the NeiruMah. Serqet there for Sanford Soccer. It's only Neil on the Fenrir, and it's a Fenrir. He's not like controlling a big AoE the same way Callus is on the Sylvanus.
And something also about the team fights is that there was a rotation from Rival around the 15-minute mark where all 5 of the players went to the dual lane, and Scary D just wasn't anywhere to be found.
It has a lot to do with the matchup. Wukong's obviously going to rotate a lot faster with the 72 transformations, but also it just seems like Deathwalker is getting to do whatever he really wants. He's always at the back camps. He's invading speed buff. He's rotating behind a tier 1 and duo. I really want to see Scary on a matchup where he can fight back and maybe even match those rotations.
He's getting a lot of freedom between the match against Energy versus Cerberus versus the Chang'e. He hasn't truly been challenged yet, Deathwalker.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in this matchup, like we talked about, Wukong's a really good matchup in the Baron, and he was just able to out-rotate, out-clear, and kind of bully him out, even with the Soul Eater build.
Talk to me a little bit about Vote versus Zapman here. Definitely didn't seem like Zapman was doing poorly.
No, I definitely agree. I think Zapman was just like waiting for the late game. Once the team fights happened around Fire Giant, he was doing a lot of AoE damage, but when Trifecta committed around Fire Giant, Zap and others included were just too grouped up, so when they did kill Callus, they were just not healthy to continue the fight.
Yeah, and props to Vote as well, because it's the second game in a row that he's been either first blooded or put behind in the duo lane, and he's just playing patiently and taking the kills as they come to him. But at the same time, the way Zap played, we talked about how the early aggression wasn't going to be too good with the NeiruMah, but they ended up getting a double kill off the Sam rotation. And towards the later stages of the game, as a NeiruMah, all you want is items. Every item you get is going to make you more powerful, especially with your ult. And they snuck 2 Gold Furies while everyone was standing off at Fire Giant.
That third item, Soul Gem, was a little questionable for me, knowing that a lot of NeiruMahs like Divine Ruin, and when you're against Callus' Sylvanus, Soul Eater, Deathwalker on the Sun Wukong, you kind of want that to be a Divine Ruin instead.